What is the big difference on set from this one compared to the first one? What feels different?
Oh man, on set?
Yeah.
You know, on the first one, I felt as though a lot of the crew, much of the cast, didn't really know what we were doing. You know, like I talked to a lot of the crew members who worked on the first one, and they were like, I was really kind of surprised at the first movie, and I think that was what the first movie really had, not only with the people who collaborated in making it, but also audience members. It's a big surprise. It was unexpected, and so the second time around, we felt the momentum, you know, and we felt expectations, and so that felt different. People knew that we were making a sequel to a movie that was really well received and really highly regarded. So that felt different.
And it was exciting as an audience to come in sort of knowing these characters and
Yeah.
just being excited to revisit them.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, there's a certain amount of expectations that people will have in the second movie. I mean, because the last thing in the world you want to do is not give people what they want after committing to and falling in love with the first movie. And we do give them exactly what they want, but in a way that they could never expect. So in that regard, we get to again be unexpected and get to again be surprising.
When did you start to learn the track listing for Awesome Mix Volume?
You know, I didn't get so deep into listening to the tracks on this movie as I did the first movie, because the first movie I would have had, Peter Quill would have been listening to these songs for 20-some years, and in this movie, Peter Quill's only received the songs a couple months earlier, so I didn't get so heavy into ingraining them into my psyche. I listened to them a few times, and then again, even more so this time around, we listened to them on set. I'd have them in my ear in an earwig while we're playing out a scene, so we can always feel the rhythm of the scene. Kind of, it would be just beneath the surface, you know.
With everybody on set, was it like a old home week?
That was, I think, getting back to seeing everyone was the most exciting part of doing the sequel. I wasn't looking forward to, you know, the 5 hours of green makeup, but it's so funny, I never really did look forward to it, but as soon as I was on set, I was happy. I would forget that I had been there since 2:30 in the morning, and I was just eager to get back and just, you know, I always felt like I was playing with my friends, you know?
How is Gamora fitting in with the other Guardians in this one?
She's still the one that is rigid and takes herself a little too seriously, but I think it's because she still has all this baggage that she has to deal with. You know, when you see them in the second installment, it's only been 3 or 4 months since the first movie. You know, that's kind of like the time frame that James Gunn wrote for us. So even though they're feeling much more familiar with each other, they're still getting to know each other and acclimate to this new life together as a family. So Gamora is definitely, I would like to say that she's like the big sister role, and Dave Bautista was like, you know what, you're the mother. You need to just own it, and that's who Gamora is. She's sort of like the mother of the pack. I'm always correcting them, keeping them focused, letting them see how much of idiots they really are sometimes when they argue about things that are so arbitrary, and I'm always trying to sort of like, let's finish the task at hand, focus. So it's always
You have described Drax as possibly the happiest Guardian at the start of this film. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's just because I think Drax has, you know, he's found a new family. You know, I think he's learning to live and love again, and I think he's at this moment he's pretty content, or more content than he's been in a long time.
Hello, Cole Sprouse here. You may remember me as Jughead Jones from Fast and Furious movies. We miss this amazing man, KJ Apa. Well, I'm back in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as the voice of Baby Groot. I use the squeaky baby voice. It's like the chipmunks.
First you flick this switch, then this switch. That activates it. Then you push this button, which will give you 5 minutes to get out of there. Now, whatever you do, don't push this button, because that will set off the bomb immediately and we'll all be dead. Now, repeat back what I just said.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No! Now that's the button that will kill everyone.
Groot is a Flora Colossus, the son of Groot, and a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Born out on a planted twig of his deceased father, baby Groot began to grow and interfere with the Guardians on many adventures. They were soon hired by the Surveyor to destroy an obelisk, but they were then targeted by their former employers due to Rocket, who double-crossed them and stole some of Allied's batteries. During the escape, they had met Peter Quill's father Eagle, while Groot and Rocket, along with Yondu Utana, were captured by Taserface, faction of the Ravagers, but Groot was able to help them all escape. Groot then joined his allies and assisted them in destroying Eagle and saving all his friends, but Utana died. Over the next 4 years, Groot continued to grow and started exhibition the personality of an adolescent.
Ugh, dude. Seriously? You gotta clean up your room. It's a complete mess.
I am Groot.
I'm not boring. You're boring. You know what's boring? Sitting there playing that mind-numbing game. What's boring is me tripping over your vines every day. I'm not bored. And now I know how young you are.
Peter Quill's name is Star-Lord. And Gamora, she's such a badass. Sorry, Santana. And Drax, ooh, he's such a strong one. Barrister. And Rocket, Bradley Cooper, one of my favorites.
The thing that got me excited about the movie really was completely James Gunn. We talked about it, and he had this idea for who Rocket could be, and it was his excitement and his vision that really inspired me, and continued to. I was so happy that we're doing a second one. I think that we learned from doing the first movie and the first journey. We have a better understanding of who Rocket is, and he's evolved. I mean, also with the technology evolving, I think also the characters evolved, and that's been a fun process to be a part of, because I'm just a small part of Rocket. I mean, so many people go into who Rocket is.
It's so good. Does James tell you like what song's going to be playing?
Yes.
Oh, he does.
When we did the table read, he would play the music at the same time too.
Cool.
He would he would say, hey, so this is gonna be the music at this moment, and this is gonna be the music, and it was great.
Because I mean, you're one of the very few kind of new characters in this movie, which means you kind of come into this project with the kind of knowledge of the tone of what the first kind of movie was. Do you think that's quite helpful when you come into a film knowing kind of what is expected and what the kind of audiences already quite appreciate about the franchise?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my character is pretty different too from the other characters, and it's just, you know, she's just innocent and wide-eyed and, you know, a little bit weird. It was really fun to play.
Because, I mean, she's obviously got this huge kind of quite mysterious past, which I'm sure in the comic books is really delved into. I mean, do you find it quite... Can it be overbearing to kind of get really stuck into that and to read the comics, or do you prefer to treat her more as a cinematic creation?
Oh, yeah, completely. I mean, I tried at first. I did some research, and I read so many different things about her, and some really dark and twisted and, like, sometimes, like, sexual, really weird stuff, you know? I mean, it's not like it's a novel and it's like one writer who wrote about her. It's like so many writers, you know? She appeared in the 60s. So, you know, from the 60s until now, she had so many different lives, and it doesn't make sense. It's all over the place. Even the way she looks, it was really confusing. So I just decided to stick to James Gunn's vision. And I asked him, actually, I said, hey, I want to read everything, but I'm not sure, because from what I read in the script, she's really different. And he said, I don't think you need to. So, yeah. And I think his vision is more interesting than what I read, to be honest.
Matt wants you to be his dad. Dave Bautista fanboys you. You've walked into a serious love fest.
I never know this stuff, but it's always fun to find it out. I mean, it's always fun to find it out, period. James Gunn, this is his baby. He creates this. He knows what he wants. He's completely on top of it. He's got all the layers that are fun. And he's created an incredibly dense movie.
So Nebula was definitely a bad guy in the first Guardians film. That's what I love about her, to be honest. I love that she has this real dark side, and I get to explore that, which is really cool. In terms of the second film, she's still a bad guy, but we're going to get to understand her motivations for being a bad guy a little bit more. And that might not make her such a bad guy anymore, because I think as soon as we develop empathy for anyone and understand why they're doing the things that they're doing, they sort of don't seem as bad anymore. So that's definitely going to happen with Nebula. I just read it immediately and I was laughing out loud. I thought, this is funnier than the first film. And I was crying. There were real tears, and I was like, wow. Everything that I loved about the first film is in the second film, but it's just heightened. There's just more of it. And I'm going to say, even better soundtrack this time.
I think the audience knows the difference.
Yeah,
they just do. I was doing Guardians of the Galaxy. Wow. The green screen is 5 times the size of this stage.
Wow.
And I look at these actors with respect. I go, how do you do this for months and months and months and not get outside and still act and try to, do your character? It's really tremendously difficult. I mean, it seems like it's easy. It's not. What we're doing out there is much easier because it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things are blowing. The buildings are going sideways. So you get excited. You're outside. You're doing it as opposed to pretending to do it. So I don't look down on people that do a lot of the Marvel type films. It's just a different kind of acting that requires a whole different discipline.
The difference between making this and the first one, does it feel different on set, or is it just the same?
I think my manager's right away. Did I get paid more money on this one?
Absolutely.
Yes, that's the big difference. I got paid more money on this one. The second one was, I think our caterer was, we had a better caterer this time around. That's my second favorite thing. And my trailer was massive. I mean, yeah. I thought my trailer was, how better could my trailer get? Then I went to visit folks on the next one up. Dude, they had fake fireplaces in their trailers. It was so much more high class. I couldn't believe it. I said, wait a minute. I thought we had the best trailers, but no. Infinity Wars has the best trailers.